Hey everybody, and welcome to the Cinema Prix movie reviews. Today, we saw Beauty and the Beast. And, Deidre, what do you think?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really, really well done.
I thought it was great. Like, the original Beauty and the Beast cartoon adaptation is my favorite of the Disney princess stories. I enjoyed this movie though. It isn't a straight up adaptation though, like as everybody's assuming. Like it is very faithful.
Yes,
very faithful.
Yeah,
like,
I'd absolutely say that.
But they make some welcome changes in it.
Yeah, they absolutely do. There's a lot of adding of new story elements that weren't in the original animated version that are really interesting. They're really They expand a lot more on both Belle and the Beast as characters, and I think that's a really interesting way to go about it. And the movie still isn't all that long, which is really cool. They didn't stretch it out so much that it was too much for the movie. They did it in a really good way.
The Beauty and the Beast story is timeless. Everybody should know it at this point, so we're gonna go balls deep in spoilers.
Yeah.
So I thought this movie was really well paced, especially for a musical and with a runtime of 129 minutes.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't feel like it was dragging. There are some parts I think in the middle. There's a period between the moment where Belle is introduced, or after the first song in the village,
right?
And between that point and her and the Beast actually getting to interact.
Yeah.
There's a period there. It's just kind of like.
It's kind of not necessarily bland, but almost like overkill as far as how much they needed to introduce Gaston.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of that scene was to get you aware of the fact that Gaston's whole goal in life right now is to marry Belle.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants. And they expanded on that maybe too much, but at the same time, I think part of that contributes to that scene being I guess bland is the best word I can think of, but as being.
But I think that's how the character was.
It is.
This cheeseball, bland, muscle-bound dickhead.
Well, he totally is, and he played the part really well. But I think part of that is that in the original animated series, they used part of that time in the downtime between the first song and Belle being introduced to the Beast to expand on her father and his inventing, and that's what he does, and that's why he's so kooky and kind of shunned by the village. And they didn't really do that a whole lot. They did a little bit. He invented this little music box thing where it was the picture their family and stuff that from Paris. But then that was essentially it. You didn't have any of his bigger contraptions that he's working on and stuff in his workshop, and I thought that was I did miss that. I missed.
What did you think about the addition of there's several additions in this movie.
Yes.
One of them that I thought was really good was the addition of how the mother died.
Yes, I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was a really.
You really enjoyed that? That's dark.
Well, no,
There's a mother died of the plague, and the father and daughter had to leave.
You knew what I meant,
but she thought it was awesome.
I enjoyed the way they told that story. Do you feel better now?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I enjoyed the way they told that story because there's several obviously magical items in the castle when they're there. And one of them in this rendition of the story is that Beast has this book, and it was a gift from the Enchantress, and it'll allow you to go anywhere you want to go. And he brings them to Paris because that's where Belle wants to go. And she ends up in her childhood home, and she figures out there what happened to her mother, and she got killed by the plague. And I thought that was a really good addition to the story in that it adds a little bit more depth to Belle's family and where she came from.
To the overall plot, it doesn't add anything.
Yes.
It doesn't really do anything.
Right.
It's not something she has to overcome or it's just a off-thread side story.
Right.
But it's a welcome addition. It really does. It feels like it should have been part of the story the whole time.
It fleshes out her dad a little bit more too, and I think they swapped the stories. Instead of him being an inventor, they went more into he's just a grieving widower. You know what I mean? And it's really sad, and you do feel for him. It's really important, but I think that they did a really good job of swapping the two out and not making it feel like you didn't know her father and know that he was kind of kooky. You still got that feeling. It just wasn't nearly as elaborate.
I really liked all the characters in this, but I thought the standout for me, I thought the Beast was the coolest we've ever gotten a version.
He was
of the
pretty
Beast.
cool.
Like, even though like it's still the same character from the cartoon. Like, it very much felt like that same character.
Yes, it did.
Because he's still that over the top asshole. Like he's an asshole for things that no one in the world would ever be an asshole about.
Yes.
My favorite part about him was the way they animated him. There's so much personality in the dude's face.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene where they're talking about Romeo and Juliet, and he has like this like reaction.
Oh, where he's
like, ugh, like Romeo and Juliet, like, ugh, it's disgusting. But like the way they animated his face, I'm like, damn, that looked so real.
It was really cool because exactly in that moment I realized that like what's so cool about CGI in general is that you can take a realistic figure and give them animation characteristics, because that whole scene was kind of over exaggerated if you actually look at it. They were able to take his mouth and probably move it just a bit wider than like it normally would have gone, and it just made it so like
in makeup
it was endearing almost. Like, it was really
get that
good
kind of reaction from a dude in makeup, because the makeup, the prosthetic wouldn't allow his mouth to open that far up. And this, he's just like, he has like this reaction where he's like, oh yeah, Romeo and Juliet, disgusting. Like, and it's
I can't believe you like that. Yeah.
When I got to see this movie on screen, on the big screen, I was really, taken back by how faithful it was in the beginning. Like, that first song with Belle in the village, like, that looks like it's like shot for shot.
It's the
same from the cartoon.
Well, and you can hear it in the music too, because they took. I'm surprised. It's like they took the original recording of the song and just put it into this like movie with new singing. So the music was fantastic.
Yeah, so let's go into the music. Yeah. What did you think about all the singers? I mean, I've never seen Emma Watson sing before. I don't know the actor who plays the Beast. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name.
Luke Evans also.
Yeah.
First time singing.
All of them were fantastic. For me, the very beginning, when you first hear Belle singing, when you first hear Emma Watson singing, it struck me as odd only because her key is lower, I think, than the original Belle. But you get used to it, and like it was only a couple of bars in that I realized that it was just an adjusted key. But she did a really good job of, I guess, compensating for that, if that makes sense. She really like owned it, because like even in the reprise of Belle, she has this moment where she's talking about, like, I don't want to be Gaston's wife, and she's singing about it, and she does that ugh thing again too. And it incorporates really well into the way that she sings the song. And I thought that they did a really good job with the character and stuff and bringing that into the music, because that's incredibly important in a musical.
So speaking of Gaston, Luke Evans, he plays such a good slime ball in this.
He does.
And I like Luke Evans a lot. Like, I really like Dracula Untold. I don't care what anybody says. I really actually enjoyed that movie. So I like Luke Evans, and he really brought Gaston to life, because
he definitely did.
But another character that they added, some twists to, like, I don't remember him trying to murder the father in the original. I don't remember him leaving him to the wolves.
No, I will say this: when I saw the trailers of this, I was not convinced that he was going to be a good Gaston, and the reason why I say that is because Gaston's got this really like deep, resounding voice. And so when he does his shout, I say we killed the beast! Like, I heard that and I was like, I think his voice is too high. Yeah. And they did make it higher, but it's still deep enough that it definitely resonates with you. I think he did a really good job.
I think the acting he does in the movie like helps,
yeah.
come off. I mean, he really, like I said, comes off like a real genuine asshole.
Yeah, he's very good.
You are the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Nobody deserves you.
What did you think about Josh Gad as LeFou?
I loved LeFou in this movie.
I don't get the controversy about it. Like,
people just like to make. So here's my feeling: is people like to make controversy where there can be controversy, and not for any other reason other than they just want to stir things up. Because his character, he's gay in the film, but he's not like. It's not distractingly so, and it's not like.
Yeah, like it's not.
It doesn't change the story at all. It doesn't change his character. It doesn't change anything about him. It just adds to it.
It doesn't change anything to the story.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like. I just don't get it. Like, when I heard all the outrage, I assumed like, so how far are they going to go with it? I guess like is it going to be like, oh, is it going to be like a passing comment, or is it going to be like he has his own love interest in the film?
Yeah.
So when I watched the movie and I'm like, so it chalks up to like maybe like one line, kind of acting a little effeminate, and then at the end dancing with a dude. Like, that's the worst.
That's what it is. That's the thing too. Is there's like 3 lines, and they're all punchlines too. It's not just like an offhanded comment here that makes no sense. They're jokes.
It's a pun that would have been in a cartoon version of this movie anyway. For
it totally would have. Yes, you're right. It totally would have been there.
So like
it totally would have. Yeah, I thought his rendition of Gaston the song was fantastic. Yeah. That whole scene was great, which could also lead into like the choreography as well. The choreography was fantastic. The only small gripe I had, and I think it was because it might have been like the first thing that they did, and I'm not sure what the shot order was for this, but in Belle, the song, the opening song, there were a few moments where I felt like people were stiff, and one of them was intentional, and I got that.
Like, what do you mean stiff?
Like, they were just hitting their marks to hit their marks. They weren't like, it didn't feel as fluid as it could have. And the only reason I say that, and don't get me wrong, I loved the song still. I thought it was still really, really well done. But there were a few moments where I was like looking at it, and I think part of the problem was they were all super nervous because they realized that like if they fuck this song up, immediately the movie tanks. The second that you, because it's the first thing that you see that's so iconic to that film, to that story, to the Disney version of it anyway. So if it doesn't go off well, people are going to have an immediate impression of this movie that will be really hard to recover. Yeah. So I think that I don't know if it was I don't know when they shot that, like in the production cycle. I feel like it was one of the first things they did, and they were just nervous about not doing it well enough. Yeah. Otherwise, I thought it was really well done. Emma Watson was fantastic in it.
Fantastic.
It was just like a couple of like the extras I was noticing as a couple of the chorus members as they were moving around. I was like, you're just hitting a mark to hit a mark. Yeah. But I still really enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't distracting. I did that. I noticed it because I was there to analyze the movie. Yeah. I don't know that I would have had I just been there as a moviegoer.
So last thing I want to really talk about the supporting cast. We already talked about Gaston, the father, Belle, Beast, but I want to talk about Lumiere. What did you think about
the castle? The castle objects.
All the castle objects. What did you think?
I thought they were fantastic. Lumiere was probably
I didn't realize that it was. I knew that I could tell that it was Ian McKellen as Cosworth.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't realize that was Ewan McGregor.
I didn't either
until the movie ended. I'm like,
I also didn't know Stanley Tucci was the maestro.
I got that from the beginning.
I didn't know that.
Him at first.
He's a chameleon, man. He's really good.
Yeah,
he does really well.
And the thing is, when you get star power like Stanley Tucci, I mean, already Ewan McGregor, Ian McKellen. Yeah. Still, when you get actors like that, the fact that you don't really shed so much light on it. Even these,
they're hidden until like the very end of the movie when they're revealed.
They're mostly animated characters. Yeah. They're mostly voiceover work. But usually, in a voiceover production, you never see the actors, obviously. You never really cut to them unless you get like bloopers at the end or something like that. Right. But in this, a movie where you get the chance to show prominently the character when they go back to human form, you would think that you would shed some more light on these big actors that are playing these characters. Like when they go back to human, they're Emma Thompson. There was Emma Thompson, Stanley Tucci, Ewan McGregor, and they weren't like just like star whoring about like being like, look who we got. Yeah, look who we got.
They just got all these big. I didn't know that most of those people were in this movie until we got into the movie. The only person that I knew was in this movie was Emma Watson. Yeah, and they marketed the shit out of her, which is totally worth it to do because it definitely. As soon as I heard the announcement that she was Belle, I was like, I'm gonna go see this movie.
Yeah, no
matter what, casting. I'm gonna go see this movie. Yeah, she was fantastic. But like. I thought the kid they got to play Chip was fantastic as well. Pretty much the whole. I have ratings here on my notes here that rate everybody, and nobody got less than a 7 out of 10. And it was just because I just like her character. That was the wardrobe. Yeah. Her character is. This is a personal preference. Her character was my least favorite of the house objects, and I think it's just because like her whole identity was like I sing. And that's it. Yeah. Like she did a really good job at it, but
she was a that was
her whole that was her whole identity. Yeah. And so, but she got a 7 out of 10 still because she was really good. Everybody else was 8 or 9s.
So that's a perfect segue. So if you had to rate this movie,
I'd give it a solid 9. I'd give it a solid 9 in my opinion. I really enjoyed it.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. It's really, really good. Like I said, it's different. It's not 100% the same as the original one, but it's welcome improvements.
Yes, they're definitely welcome changes. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We were so excited that Beauty and the Beast just finally came out and that it turned out as well as it did. So if you'd like to see any of our previous reviews, you can click right here or right here, and it'll bring you to 2 of our previous recordings of reviews that we have done. Or you can click the subscribe button right here, and it will take you to our channel, and you can get notifications on when we upload our new content as well. As always, like, favorite, comment, let us know you're here, let us know what you think of Beauty and the Beast. We'd love to hear your feedback as well, and maybe we'll even respond to you. We love talking to you guys in the community. So, as always, thank you very much for watching the video, and we are now signing off from the Cinema Prix.